Hey everyone, and welcome. If you really want to get confident speaking English, especially about your everyday life, your habits, and just facts about the world, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to master the present simple tense. It's the absolute foundation for so much of your English communication. So, here's what we've got lined up. First, we'll figure out what this tense even is. Then, we'll look at how to actually build sentences with it. After that, we'll see it in action with some real-life examples. And finally, you'll get a chance to test out your new skills. It's a super clear path, and by the end, you'll feel way more confident. Okay, so let's just dive right in. Section 1. What exactly is the present simple tense? Don't worry, we're going to break it down into its most basic, simple parts. Okay, think of it like this. The present simple is for all the things in life that are stable and consistent. It's not for what you're doing right this second, but for what you do over and over again. Or, for things that are just always true. It's really the tense of routine and reality. And this slide really shows you the main uses perfectly. We use it for our daily habits, right? Like, I drink coffee every morning. For routines, like, she goes to the gym on Mondays. For facts that never, ever change, like, the sun rises in the east. And for those general truths we all know, like water boils at 100 degrees. See the pattern here? It's all about things that are regular and true. All right, now for the really fun part, the blueprint. Let's look at the simple formulas you can use to build perfect present simple sentences every single time. It's easier than you think. This chart makes it look so simple, because it is. For a positive sentence, we call that affirmative, it's just the subject plus the verb. But when we want to make it negative or ask a question, we bring in a little helper, the verb do or does. And here's the key thing to notice. When we use do or does, the main verb always goes back to its original simple form. Okay, now this is probably the most important rule you need to remember. If your subject is he, she, or it, we call that the third person singular. The verb needs a little something extra on the end. For most verbs, we just add an S, so walk becomes walks. But if the verb ends in a sound like ch or sha, we add es, just to make it easier to say. So watch becomes watches. The same rule applies to our helper verb. For he, she, or it, we use does. For everybody else, I, you, we, they, the verb stays simple, and we use the helper do. Seriously, mastering this one rule is the key to everything. Theory is great and all, but let's make this stuff real. Let's move on and see how this actually works in sentences you might say, I don't know, tomorrow. Okay, here's a simple, straightforward one. I play tennis on weekends. The subject is I, so the verb play just stays as it is, no S needed. It's that simple. Now look closely at this one. He works in an office. Boom, there it is. See that little S on the end? That's because the subject is he, so our big rule kicks in and work becomes works. So what about negative sentences? Well, this is where our little helper verb comes in. We do not live in this city. The subject is we, so we use do plus not. And you'll almost always hear this shortened in real conversation to don't, like we don't live in the city. And of course, that third-person rule comes right back into play. She does not like spicy food. Because the subject is she, our helper verb has to be does. So we say does not, or way more commonly, doesn't. She doesn't like spicy food. Okay, let's talk about questions. Notice how the sentence structure flips around. We start with our helper verb. Here, the subject is you, so the question begins with do. Do you speak French? And to really lock this in, look at our final example. Does he drive to work? The subject is he, so our question has to start with does. Once you get the hang of this pattern, you realize it's a really logical system. Oh, and keep an eye out for these words. They're like little signal flares. When you see words like always, every day, or on Fridays, that's a huge clue that you should probably be using the present simple. They practically scream routine. Okay, let's talk about probably the most common mistake learners make, saying he don't. But hey, you know the rule now, right? The subject is he, so that helper verb has to be does. He does not, or as we'd almost always say when we're talking, he doesn't. And just one more quick thing to keep in your back pocket. Don't mix this up with the present continuous. Remember, present simple is for your habits and for facts, like I read every day. Present continuous with the ing is for what you're doing right now. I am reading a book. It's a simple but really important difference. Okay, you've seen the rules, you've seen the examples. Now it's time to put that knowledge to the test. It's your turn to try. Don't worry, you've totally got this. take a second to think about it. The subject is she. So what happens to that verb work? I'll give you a moment. Yes, that's it, exactly. Because the subject is she, we have to add that all-important S. She works. Excellent. All right, next challenge. Can you build a question from these words? Think about it. What helper verb do you need to put right at the beginning? You got it. The subject is you, so the question starts with do. Do you like pizza? Perfect structure. Great job. And just like that, you've done it. You now get the core ideas of the present simple. So just remember, use it for habits and facts, and always, always remember that special S for he, she, and it. So before you go, I've got a little challenge for you. Think about it. What is one thing you do every single day? Maybe you drink tea, maybe you walk your dog, or listen to music. Try to form that sentence in your head right now using what you just learned. That is how you make this knowledge stick.